right, go.
It's
Sorry. All right.
Wednesday night, and you know what that means. Yeah, we're started very late, but what's up? It's Wednesday night. You know what
Sorry
that
about
means?
that music fail.
Yeah.
That was all me. I totally botched that opening.
It's all right. We're live. That's what live does. And AEW's live. We had a long busy day. Work, other work, this work, that work, and we literally starting at the same time. So we're gonna make this a
B2B marketing never stops.
It never stops. So we're gonna do a Dynamite watch along as we talk about stuff and maybe drink a beer and talk about Book of Boba. You know, if you joined us for our live watch along some 13 hours ago. Oh, are you watching this live? My least favorite. Oh,
At least he's not talking about Long Island tonight.
yeah. They're on the Jersey Shore, right?
I'm not sure where they are.
Well,
I'm not sure where they are tonight.
So yeah, we didn't even talk about this. This was last week, right? And it was in Chicago, and Punk put him over in Chicago. And it was a swerve on that put over.
Yeah, because they had a dusty finish.
He did. And then they did the ring gimmick, and then he still put him over, where he just basically choked him out, where Punk didn't tap, but he had the arm drop 3 times. So I guess he is officially the pillar.
Yeah.
Is
Doing
Punk
the
there? Is CM Punk? Would you still consider it CM Punk their number one guy?
I mean, probably he's still the one that people tune in to see. Hey, can you pull your mic a little closer?
Oh yeah, yep.
You can say, yeah. Pull it in towards you. There you go.
All right. Better?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean that was a clean put over. So basically, MJF, who is he lost to? Darby?
No, did he lose to Darby?
Or no, he beat Darby. He beat
beat
Darby with a
Darby.
headlock.
Yeah.
He beat Darby. He beat Cody. He beat Punk. So, is he really the Is he next up for the belt?
Well, let's see. CM Punk just put him over. He's having a big celebration here live on Dynamite. What are the chances someone's going to run in and break up this party?
Hi. If you have a wedding or a celebration in the ring, someone's coming to interrupt it. And also a contract signing. I think somebody made a point recently to have a contract signing where it didn't have a schmaz. But you know it's coming. And they're in Jersey. Of course they're going to be in a schmaz. Of course there's going to be a schmaz. But I don't know. I guess, I'm okay with it. I know Punk didn't need the win, doesn't need the win. It's going to get way more heat on MJF, so it does elevate him. So I'm okay with it. You knew it had to happen. I mean, think of this with Brian. He wasn't hurt by his loss, right? That finally happened.
You don't even remember it, honestly.
Mm-mm. He actually, right now, to me, if you're asking me, like, who is the hottest angle that's happening right now, is that Mox Brian stuff was fire.
Yeah, that setup for that was great.
Yeah, I guess because it felt real. Because they're like all the stuff that the anti-AEW internet is saying is Brian just said it. And he just basically said it. Now he's like, let's get this. And they can basically turn this into an outsiders thing where it's WCW versus NWO because those Mox could slip back into Dean Ambrose mode and Brian can become Daniel. And next thing you know, they're the outsiders.
Well, Mox was already going to turn heel before he had to go to rehab, so I think that it'll be solid.
Yeah.
Hey, I heard a thing about Book of Boba Fett. I know Dynamite's on. We're watching this. If anything happens, we'll
keep
call it out.
Jumping to it.
But did you hear about some folks were talking about that? I think it was on Den of Nerds. Book of Boba Fett might have actually started as a movie.
Oh, no, I did not hear that. I thought it was in development hell forever.
Well, the scuttlebutt that's going around is maybe that it was possibly a movie that ended up getting stretched into a series.
Oh.
And that, and those episodes that were very Din Djarin focused, they were actually real episodes of The Mandalorian for this year. Like, they basically just added the season, like the first 2 episodes of Mandalorian, to the Book of Boba Fett movie and created this series.
That's a terrible idea. Like, why did they do that?
I don't know that it's true, but it just seems feasible given how it all played out, right?
Well, for sure that one episode, right? Because there was no Boba Fett in it at all.
2 episodes, almost 2 episodes.
That had no Boba. Yeah, because he was only in the very end on that tacked in scene. So, but why did they do that? And then just for an excuse to have Grogu and Din Djarin on the final episode? Did they really? I don't know. I don't know what they were trying to do. It felt fractured, and I think I heard a rumor on one of the talking head sites on here on YouTube, and it wasn't theory. I think it was another one that suspected the same thing you did, that Din Djarin, Pedro Pascal walked off the set during the filming of season 3, and they had to take time to renegotiate, and they already had those 2 episodes done.
I want to believe that's not true. It's like, oh, here comes CM Punk. It just seems crazy to walk off a gig like that. You don't even have to show up.
Yeah. No, you don't, right? Because they have at least three stuntmen that are doing his stuff.
You can literally just do the voice on your phone and email it in. Why would you want to walk away from that?
No. Yeah, and you're set for life. I mean, the original Boba Fett from The Empire Strikes Back, I mean, he was well compensated, and for the rest of his life, he was known as that Boba Fett. So, I'm with you that I really hope. Sorry, I forgot to close my work Slack, and now I don't know how to gradually. Can we play some intern music?
Okay, here we go.
Turn off my work shit.
He's coming out. Oh, so CM Punk's coming out with Darby and Sting now. And they all have bats. B2B never stops. I think we're about to have a little schmoz with CM Punk. Let's hear what's going on here. Are we finally getting the CM Punk Darby Sting faction that we were promised?
Was Punk part of that?
It just seemed like it was going to be a thing. Eventually.
Yeah. What about Batman? And then they get Chris Jericho too, since there's going to be no more Inner Circle.
Well, they're having a meeting tonight. That's on the
card. That is on there?
An Inner Circle meeting.
But yeah, I'm with you that I really hope that they're not that's not what happened. But the whole thing just felt fractured.
Oh yeah, back to Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, back on Book of Boba Fett. I feel like the experience felt fractured because I didn't like that they just shoehorned these 2 episodes in there, because it wasn't the Book of Tatooine, it wasn't the Book of Mandalore. Like, it was okay for Boba Fett to guest star on there. I don't know, but the Mandalorian wasn't guest starring on there. He literally starred in 2 episodes.
He starred in 2 episodes, and again, if you look at the episode from last night, had the previous 2 episodes not been in it, they still could have done this episode.
Yeah.
They could have just clipped them, and Mandalorian and Grogu could have just showed up.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? It would have been it could have gone just as well.
So why did they do that? To stretch it to 7 episodes?
I don't know. That's the thing.
5?
That's the thing we need to ask Jon Favreau. That's what I keep telling you to text him.
Something seems off. It's just like, and I didn't hate the episode. I wanted to love it more and clear, but just liked it. And I think it had a lot to do with whatever this fracture, because it basically did not give Boba Fett the treatment that he deserved. You know, like you said, especially if it was going to be a straight film. And then there was already just some questionable story choices. You know,
I feel like if that was the case, if this actually was supposed to be a movie or something that got stretched into a show, because I think it was probably plotted out to be something more like let's see everything that happened to Boba Fett since the Sarlacc pit to till he appears in Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Because that's why there's so much flashback stuff. Maybe.
Yeah, and I didn't hate the flashbacks, but Josh
But it was
on
like its
Den of
own
Dark,
movie.
he was talking about why didn't you just shoot that air that sequentially so there was no flashbacks.
Yeah, it definitely reeks of like stuff getting meddled with and changed. Who knows why? But yeah, again, Robert Rodriguez being who he is,
He's getting a lot of heat.
he's getting a lot of. It sucks. That sucks for him.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's had a great career, whatever. I wonder if he struggled working in the studio system.
Yeah, it's very possible, right? Because didn't Kevin Smith also, who kind of came from that same vein, he struggled in the studio system where he turned down Greenhorn. He's like, never mind, I can't do this.
Yeah, I mean, like you watch Robert's old movies and you watch the behind the scenes. He's just the dude that grabs the camera and goes and films things himself, comes up with ways to shoot things. And I wonder if he struggled under the studio system to try to like work, on I don't know if it's a project that size because he's definitely done big movies before, but where you're working under somebody like Disney who is owning every little bit of creative, and you can't just freeball stuff on the fly.
Yeah.
And say, oh, I like this shot. I like this shot. It's like, no, everything you're going to do every minute is accounted for every day. And you're the director. You got to deliver these shots every day.
Yeah, I don't. You might be right. There might be something because Robert's episode last season in The Mandalorian was great.
It was good.
It was really good, and it actually put Boba Fett in the light that everybody wanted to see him in. The breaks didn't get hit, and he didn't turn into quote unquote Beta Fett until the series started, and that didn't even match up story wise. So if he would have started coming to his senses a little bit early, and then lined it up a little bit more when he got, when he went on the Vision Quest and he got the lizard up the nose. And that's when he started thinking about, there's a better way to do things. He would have had that Tony Soprano moment when Tony Soprano took peyote in front of the Grand Canyon and is like, I get it!
I don't remember that episode.
You don't remember that when Tony Soprano took peyote and he basically saw the Matrix and then he just got it?
No, I don't remember that episode.
Yeah, and
I just rewatched it recently.
Yeah. And he's like, I get it. And I think that would have made sense. It's like, okay, this is why he had that change of heart. Instead of like shoehorning it in with Cad Bane saying, your old age is getting you soft or the time with the Tuscans making you soft. I think if it story-wise, it would have made a little bit more sense. Because then you had these little bursts of just like when he, what they called them, the Lyco speed bikers, the biker gang.
Oh, the bad bikers?
Yeah, the one that got framed for killing the Tuscans. Boba Fett said he had a score to settle, and he literally just went and blasted them away. That wasn't enlightened Boba. That wasn't beta Boba. He just said, okay, I got my shit back. I'm going to go blast the shit out of them.
Yeah, because to me, it makes more sense if the entire plot of either the series or if it was a movie is the story of Boba Fett turning babyface.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing with, because I mean, folks have been calling it out, but really like the Tatooine set just feels like it's like a standing set and they were just like filming stuff.
Yeah, it feels like a circle. Doesn't it?
Yeah,
feel
it's
like
it's a circle. And
It
they're
is
like,
a circle, right?
Yeah.
It feels like a circle. I feel like they just keep running around in a circle. Literally.
It's like an old cowboy set where they just film it
Yeah.
in different ways.
Spawn Ranch. Yeah, that was my Brad Pitt.
That's solid.
That's what it felt like, though. So, but what would you rate the series?
Definitely a C plus.
You're a steer. So, did you get a second viewing of it?
No,
Not
I
yet.
haven't. I might watch it again, but I don't know. I'm not super anxious to watch it again.
Yeah,
think I got
so
it
you
the
might
first
be
time.
sticking with your C. I watched some of the breakdowns. I'll watch a few more breakdowns, and I did watch most of it again, and it still felt the same. I just felt like it almost, and there's no way they did this, and because there's just not enough time. But they're like, this isn't doing so well. Well, Grogu works. Let's throw him in there. They literally did the Anakin and Phantom Menace. Spinning's a good trick. Let's try that. Whoa! So it's like, let's throw Grogu in there and Mando since everyone likes them. but I think it hurt the series having them in there. I kind of wish we didn't see them until the last episode. And like you said, they literally were a pro wrestling run-in.
Well, let me ask you this: had the series just been the first 4 episodes and then the seventh, just those 5 episodes, would you have been happy with that?
I would have felt more closure than I do right now. I wouldn't. I think I would have felt the same way creatively, but I wouldn't have this suspicion. I guess that's what I feel like. There's something in my gut that's not sitting right. It feels suspicious, and I kind of like I could have been done with it. And it's like, okay, it's closed. Because,
Disney's got this thing they're doing. Marvel, I think, kind of started the whole thing where they're just kind of really free to just change movies as they go.
yeah.
And I feel like that this is one of those, like, we had the whole thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier, how they had to change the plot.
Oh, that was the other thing. You're right, and I did hear that this was another victim of pandemic filming too, and that's why a lot of stuff felt fractured.
I believe it.
So that's possible. So think about this now. We had 3 shows that everybody was massively looking forward to that creatively had some struggles that may have been caused by COVID.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the whole point. That's why they were building out those volumes so they could shoot COVID free.
Yeah.
But I think one thing it really gets me down that Robert's going to get all the heat for this.
Oh, yeah. No, he's going down.
Because it sucks because I think he was hired to do a job.
Yeah.
I don't think he was hired. Well, someone put it this way online, and I think it's accurate. They said it had like action figure logic.
Oh shit!
You know what I mean?
That's a way to
So
put
like
it.
the story equivalent of a kid playing with their action figures and stuff like that. And I was like, in a way, it does kind of feel like that.
It did feel like that. Yeah, especially when they got we know he loves Ray Harryhausen. We watched Del Rey. We know he loves that stuff. So when you had the King Kong feel of the Rancor climbing the building and stuff, that was very action figure. I've never been, when it comes to Star Wars, I'm not a fan of the wars in Star Wars. I like the lore, I like the mythology, I like the Buddhist angles around it. I'm not about the blasters. And there was a lot of just mindless blasting.
A lot of just shooting. It was
Yeah.
just a shootout on that same set. Pretty much was the end.
In a circle.
Yeah.
And but he is going to get the heat for it, and it's a shame. But I mean, he doesn't. Thinking about all his other films, are they more of just like these unique action angle on action, or is his stuff story driven? Like to me, like off the top of my head, From Dusk Till Dawn is the richest of his story lore.
Yeah.
That it told a great story, and literally, like it was unheard of it at the time. The movie literally changed gears halfway through the movie, and then it felt like a different movie. And you literally had heels turning babyface halfway through the movie.
That was QT though. That was QT's.
That was his second half, right?
Yeah. He wrote the whole movie.
Oh, it was the whole movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. So, But
if you go, like, his movies are generally high concept, and I think you feel that in this. Like, so he had the mods and the motor scooters and the, riding the Rancor, which I'm still not sold on riding the Rancor. It was a little robot chickeny.
yeah, it did look very robot chicken, and you knew it was coming, because you have the mythosaur that came from the Star Wars Christmas special, but that was animated, and it's different when it's animated, and it was not animated on this, but it looked animated. But you knew it was coming, and they set it up, so I mean, it was pretty. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what you're gonna do. But man, what a great way to call it. It was very action figure. And somebody said this earlier that really hit me. It's just like, if you would have just called this Star Wars Adventures on Tatooine, and it happened to have Boba Fett and stuff, I think people would have been happier. But they called it the Book of Boba Fett, and they just feel like they didn't get enough Boba Fett. Do you feel like you didn't get enough Boba Fett? And then the Boba Fett that you did get wasn't what you've been dreaming of since 1980.
Yeah, I mean, it was totally different. I don't know. I feel like we're burying it quite a bit, but the more I think about it, I feel like it didn't connect the whole
No,
thing.
yeah, and it's like I don't, and yeah, I mean, I guess it's not because we're not raving about it, and I liked it. I'm glad it happened. I'm even of the mind. Do you want to see a season two? I want to see a season two. I want to see if they can fix a lot of the stuff that didn't work. If they took notes, though, but if they don't take notes, then no, I don't want to see a season two.
I don't think we're gonna get a season two. I think this is gonna be like in whatever future episode of another Star Wars show that we might get a trip to Tatooine and we might see these characters. But I think given the response so far and
But
given
the
the fact,
ratings have been good, though. There's no way the ratings were bad. Like
I don't know. I haven't.
we'll
followed-
never know, right? Because
Doesn't. Yeah.
it's streaming ratings. It's Fugazi.
Yeah.
We don't ever know what it was, but there was a lot of. Here's the problem with it, and it's crazy. I guess this is the Vince McMahon problem. You left a lot of money on the table. You left a lot of money on the table, and it's not just literal cash. You just left a lot of rich storytelling. I mean, they literally had Black Cretantian in Targratian. I can't say any of these words. In the territory where these guys are basically two species at war, and they all kind of jumped him, and they really just only kind of touched on that. But like, he was just like you said, you'd never seen some of the stuff he's done before, and you
Yeah.
went and watched his
They
comic
booked.
books.
He didn't look strong in this show.
No, and he's one of the strongest bounty hunters there is. Like, I mean, he used to fight in those pits, and like then they wasted him, and he literally got jumped.
He once killed a guy because he wanted to fight the guy that guy was going to fight.
So he killed.
So he killed that guy.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of creatively. There's a lot of money left on the table. There's a lot of food left on the plate. So
Hey, let me give you an update. So right now, CM Punk is calling out Danhausen on Twitter.
He
And
is.
he says, "Are you busy?" And Danhausen says, "Is it time?" So I think something's about to happen here on Dynamite.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That was on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is the future, man. So we're tweeting angles. Danhausen's over. Danhausen is definitely over.
He's over on the internet for sure. I don't
got
know if he's
himself
over on
over.
TV.
Well, here's the thing, and I think Tony Khan will recognize it. Like Vince McMahon's like, oh yeah, social media is very important. Yeah, this guy Matt Cardona, he got himself way over. Okay, let's bury him
Yeah.
because we didn't do it. So,
Yeah.
but I think Tony Khan will give Danhausen the platform. So I hope he does it. So we're talking about like a big Pinnacle versus the Batmen. Is that what we'll call them? Bat and paint connection.
Oh, I guess he would be with the painted faces, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense. We seen CM Punk in the war paint, so
Yeah, so he's done the war paint before. So then, yeah, that'll be Punk, Sting, Darby, and Danhausen versus the Pinnacle.
let's see. But we still haven't got.
Wait a minute. Why did
get a
they
whiff
just
of the special guests or whatever?
now coming from left field? Why did the Blade just get? I mean, I guess he didn't get jobbed out because it is Wardlow, but
But Wardlow's in the process of turning babyface,
oh, okay,
and this could be it. Is this about to be it?
too soon. I know it feels like he's been there forever, but I don't feel like Wardlow is over enough to already break him off. Do you?
I don't think. Like I said, I think AEW has trouble booking big guys, so I would say definitely not. But I don't know what he could do. What big guy is getting over in AEW? I almost said WWE.
Yeah,
AEW.
yeah, that's all they do.
Ask Brian Cage. Where's he?
Oh yeah, what happened with him? He wasn't
just-
happy with his booking.
He's on nothing nowadays, so I think he's probably on the way out. I don't know his contract is up, but
Wait, are they meeting?
he's not
at
even on Dark.
They meeting at a cemetery?
Penta.
Oh, got it. It's unrelated.
I like Penta in a cinematic promo though.
Back to our Lucha Underground roots. So Penta is currently digging a grave. Oh, he's undigging a mask.
Is he dropping the Penta El Zero Miedo and just going back to Junior?
I hope I hope he just gets something that's a little bit rolls off the tongue a little easier. What was he? He was great when he had that moment in Lucha Underground where he became Pentagon Black.
Yeah, it's Pentagon.
That was good.
Depending on Dark.
Oh, we got the team meeting with the inner circle. But we can jump back to Boba Fett while they sing the song. So you don't want to see a season 2. Tamora Morrison said he would like to see a season 2, and he would like to. That's how we would like to introduce Mace Windu survived, and then he can work on getting revenge for decapitating his dad.
Yeah, well, I don't think tomorrow Morrison's going to book it.
Yeah,
He's gonna, so I'm sure he wants work.
Yeah.
But
I'd like to see him come. I mean, well, he's gonna get booked to come back because if they, well, although the clone troopers, they had if you to pull your nerd card real quick, they have that age advancement in their genes, so he can really be any clone trooper that survived, right? And they had Captain Rex in the Rebels show, so but he would age fast, but they can easily explain that away with some Star Wars tech, right? That basically says, yeah, we turned off your age, you're speeding up your aging, so you should be okay. If they wanted to bring him back.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I just think that I don't know that this series generated enough interest for a season 2, but I think they'll be back in episodes of whatever comes next. They might be in Kenobi. Who knows? That's coming out next, right?
Right. They could be. Yeah. So they can do that. Well, they could have an Incredible Hulk problem on their hands where Boba Fett is maybe now not strong enough to carry his own, but they can pop him in other stuff. Like for some reason, Incredible Hulk movies don't do well, but he does great when he's in other people's movies.
Yeah.
So Boba Fett could pop, because again, that was one of the best Mandalorian episodes. I remember the buzz when Boba Fett was on there. But it didn't work the other way around.
But now with him not being over, is he going to add much if Boba Fett drops in?
Well, they would have to do something different.
Our current iteration of Boba Fett, who never wears a mask and is for the people.
Yeah, that might not work. Why did that happen?
I don't know. Like again, it just reeks of just last minute changes or trying to cobble a story together last minute.
Has anybody ever looked at a movie and said, "Thank God for studio meddling"? Has it ever worked?
I mean, I don't think it's studio meddling. I feel like this is something else because Disney is like they have it down to a science. They create their stuff to not lose,
Yeah.
And it's like there must have been some kind of code red situation where it's like we're not going to have anything to air next year. What do we do? So we got this one project we're working on. Maybe we'll stretch it out.
Yeah. It does feel like that. Because, I mean, think about this. When Mandalorian did so well, and then on the Disney Investor Day, on the Star Wars section, they literally announced all these different shows. And then they were talked about, and all these shows are going to take place, and it's going to have the culmination of a film event. Now, they didn't say if it was going to be a film in the theaters or a film in streaming, but it was going to have a film event that was going to have it. So everybody suspected it was going to be Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and Rangers of the New Republic are going to kind of come together, and they're going to get that Grand Admiral Thrawn storyline. They're going to bring Ezra back, and they were going to have this big event. And now it doesn't. Now it seems like everything's kind of like floundering because now, I guess they tried to. You think it's a coincidence that they released the Obi-Wan Kenobi poster hours after Boba Fett dropped the final?
No, I mean I think they just want to continue
to let you know that we got something else going.
Say what's up to Bushnell. Bushnell's on.
Oh, Mike, what's up, man? Okay, sorry, I don't know if it's working talking about Boba Fett and wrestling. It's like,
sorry.
My brain is going in different directions.
Oh, yeah.
The Danhausen started in the Indies, then brought him to his podcast, trying to get a leg with him. I hope he gets over big. I mean, I know he can get Orange Cassidy over at that level for sure if they let him. Now, granted, it's like I don't know if he's going to be, and he can work. Mike. I shared with Mike. I don't think I shared it with you. The Jim Cornette's reaction to Danhausen because everybody kept sending Cornette and his podcast partner cameos from Danhausen, and they were loving him.
They were cracking up.
Oh yeah, they were loving him. And then Jim Cornette says, "For the love of God, don't send me any of his wrestling matches because I love this guy and I don't want to not love him anymore if I see his wrestling." And here's the thing, there's no he can work, like Mike confirmed, he can work, but can he work in what Jim Cornette considers work?
He has a pretty narrow view of what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
Very traditional, right? So
It's traditional, right? It's not current. I mean, I didn't realize he had so much heat with because he has heat with Jericho, right? And I mean, but he was a huge Jericho. I mean, he booked Jericho, like his first gig in the States was with him and Lance Storm in Smoky Mountain.
I don't know if he has heat with, I don't think Jericho has heat with him, because he was defending him when all that stuff happened with Cornette. So when they were blaming Cornette for the guys running into the ring
Oh,
and stuff like that, because they were saying Cornette's being whatever,
yeah.
instigating people to go nuts.
yeah.
And Jericho was like, no, Jim Cornette would have stuck a tennis racket up his ass.
Yeah, that's true. That is actually, that is very accurate. But
All right, every time we switch topics.
yeah, the ring the bell. Yeah, because I don't know where piece them together for podcasts. Because I don't know if this is going to be our Boba Fett finale. Although we have a little bit from what we talked about right after the show, the fresh raw reaction of it. But I wanted it to feel like the last time we had that late night stay up, which is when we had Luke Skywalker. But man, it was going to be really hard to recreate that magic. But do you think somebody made that decision to say, no, we're not going to bring back any of these characters?
CM Punk is now. Oh, sorry. CM Punk is now calling out Samoa Joe on Twitter.
What?
He's asking Samoa Joe where he is.
Oh, I forgot about Joe. Joe's going to be one of the guys there. I forgot that Joe is.
All right, yeah, I know. You've done lots of PDG marketing today, so I know it's disrupting the flow, but I had to tell you that.
Is this the end of the inner circle?
I mean, definitely looks like it.
Well, I feel like
are Tito and Ortiz turning heel, or
I feel like they're going to start a faction with the Mad King, right? The Kings of New York. I feel like that's coming.
are they New York? I thought they were LAX.
No, they're New York. These guys are New York.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah, they're New York. So because remember when they were in New York, they came painted as the Baseball Furies.
Yeah, and then they come out with Homicide.
Yeah. So I feel like this would be. I honestly, I was okay with the Inner Circle before because it was a collection of randoms, but they don't need each other now. In a weird way, the Pinnacle need each other than MJF more than the Inner Circle needs each other. Look at these all 5 of these units can basically stay without each other.
I don't know. Jake Hager may be like, wait, let's keep the band together, guys.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, Jake Hager, if he can get into warlord mode to eat for either Jericho or Sammy and be okay. Santana and Ortiz, I think it would be. Oh, wait, so Sammy left?
It's the end of the Inner Circle. You're seeing it fall apart.
No, I think he remembered that he was dating Tay Conti, and he's like, wait, what the hell am I doing out here? She's in the locker room, right? All right, peace out, dogs.
Well,
I want to see them. I'd like to see them as a faction with Eddie King and just stay as a trio. I mean, because it feels like every time they're going to do something with Death Triangle, it stops happening or somebody gets really hurt.
I don't think Death Triangle works, though.
No, it didn't. It didn't work.
It was just, that was kind of a rando.
But I feel like this one will work really well. Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz. I think that really works.
I'm into it. I think, is Eddie Kingston injured right now? I think he
might be.
Injury. I have a feeling he's going to come back in like really good shape. I bet.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, I think he got just. I mean, over the past few months, I feel like he got the biggest push of his life for a while. That I
Yeah.
can think of. That I mean, all the way up to that match with CM Punk, that was amazing. And then he
Oh, yeah,
kind
that
of
was a
like
good
didn't know
match.
what to do with him. But he got called out for a lot for his weight and his physique. But he'll come back looking different, a little different.
Why is that? Like, why do they do that? Like, you think
Peer pressure. It's like Instagram and all that.
we really just don't need Attack of the Clones. I mean, when WWE's had a lot of hard times, but one of their worst is when all their wrestlers look the same, and WCW had that at the end. Where like when you say, "Wait, which one is that?" That doesn't happen. That didn't happen back in the day. And when it did happen, they in a way they just called it out. They're like, well, the Killer Bees kind of look together. Okay, we'll turn it into an angle and we'll get them matching mask and we'll call it mask confusion because they look alike.
Mike's confirming he is injured.
Eddie's hurt.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Eddie get a run with the title. I'd like to see a heel Eddie, not the big belt. I mean, although he could carry the big belt, but I'd like to see him carry I'd like to see a heel Eddie get with Santana and Ortiz and take the belt off Sammy.
And I think they can pull off Stone Cold type heel vibe.
Yeah.
I think they can definitely get into that arena.
Well, I think they would pretty quick turn into cool heels.
Exactly, cool heels.
Yeah, I think they would. Which is the opposite of whatever the Young Bucks have turned into. Like they are like they think they're cool, but then that makes like they don't. It's not channel changing heat, so that's the good news.
When I see the Young
Wait,
Bucks,
who's that? Is that one of the surprises?
Who is that? Switchblade who? Is that who? Who is it? Oh, Jay White?
See,
He's a New Japan guy, I think. Right?
don't know. Gonna pull a Jamie real quick and look it up because I'm not sure.
Do it. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's New Japan.
The UK kid in Varsity Pro Wrestling. Yep, New Japan, Ring of Honor.
Because he was okay. So I think this is the match where we're gonna have the secret entrance coming up next.
Oh, so then it is Jeff Hardy because it's the Hardy Party just came out.
Yeah,
Is his 90 days up?
I think
Or
he was not on the same kind of contract as I think.
Oh, he wasn't?
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, there's no way that Jeff wasn't going to reunite here with his brother.
Yeah.
There's no way. But the problem is with Jeff Hardy is, does he really have a problem still? Because if he does have a problem, the last thing you want to do is put him in the ring.
Well,
If
they
he's having the
released. I think
problem.
they were saying he came back clean from his WWE drug test.
He did.
It wasn't that like he. I don't know. I think that Matt Hardy says they jumped the gun on firing him. So I don't know what the facts exactly are, but he did not get released for drugs.
No. Okay. Well, that's good. Then yes, I want to see them come back. But are you happy with Big Money Matt and the Hardy family office? Are you happy with this?
Well, no. I mean, this is all. Look, I mean, when Matt Hardy came in during the pandemic, and again, he couldn't. The delete gig got wasted.
Yeah.
He couldn't do much with it without an audience yelling delete.
Yeah. And it didn't work.
So I think, I mean, he had a little thing with Sammy Guevara for a while. I don't know. They turned him heel. I'm not super, I'm not into Hardy Party all that much, but I like Matt for doing what he does.
Yeah. Well, I know and I think it's the same thing as Christian, right? I think they're bringing in these guys and they're mentoring them, and that is priceless.
Yeah.
That they need. 100% they need that. But do they need Matt Hardy and Christian Cage, the wrestlers?
I feel like these guys like you said, they are doing more than just having matches. They got to be back there coaching these guys and whatnot.
Oh, man. I forgot to turn it off on my phone.
What's that?
Oh, more work.
Oh, Chingo.
Sorry.
All right.
I forgot to turn it off on work. But yeah, sorry, what did you say before when we were talking about do we need Christian Cage and Matt Hardy as pro wrestlers?
I just think what they probably add backstage is a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With helping the younger dudes. And they are able to have matches. Like,
Well, as long as they keep using them, and I guess they're doing the same thing with Sting, right?
yeah.
So it's kind of I guess it's kind of a novel idea where you're getting these vets, you're putting them with these young guys to basically give them the brub, give them the credibility from the legend status, but obviously they get the credibility from the current audience status. So you get Sting, you get Christian, you get Matt Hardy. So I mean, I guess so you would say it's successful.
I think there's a lot. I mean, Matt Hardy, I think, was going to come in with the delete gimmick, and that was the whole idea with him. Christian Cage, I think, is probably guys like Christian Cage and like Paul White.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
they're coming in as a.
Oh, yeah,
All right, so
Paul-
here we're going to see who the
Oh, yeah,
mystery
so
entrance
you're gonna
is.
find out live here.
What do you think, Matt? Is it going to be Jeff Hardy? I'm thinking Jeff Hardy.
Limitless, Keith Lee.
Oh, it's Keith Lee.
Yep.
Yep. There it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he
Hey, he's
did.
going to have to wear that stupid dress that Vince made him wear.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What was it like
He gave him like a
cream
some
horn or
skirts.
something?
Wow.
Wait, so you're telling me that an almost 80-year-old white man is out of touch with what young people like?
I don't know. I think he was just uncomfortable with seeing Keith Lee in shorts. He made
It'll
made-
never happen in a million years, but they just keep Vince to the bit. You know what's crazy though? Like we have an MSG Memories podcast that we just dropped. You know, so check it out on any of our podcast platforms. But going through all the clips and I went through stuff that was as early as the late 70s, and you forgot how good Vince was at getting wrestlers over. And I'm not entirely sure when and why it stopped. Did it stop when did he hit a certain digit of money in his bank account that all of a sudden it's just like, oh, I forgot how to get people over?
I mean, I think there was limited TV back then. There was
Yeah.
no internet. So you had you only had one pipeline where you were showing these folks, and you could present them how you wanted,
But he was still so good, man. And it was a very personalized touch too. It wasn't and Vince had the advantage back then. He was the announcer, so he was getting them over on the spot. He was literally so Keith Lee's getting a decent reaction.
Yeah. This is watching that.
And now we're running into what we knew we'd run into is he's going to expose how someone like Keith Lee's going to expose how some small
Whoa!
these guys are.
Yeah. But again, he's not as big he's only 6'2". We were
Yeah.
thinking he was like 6'5" or something. But he has more charisma than some of the other big guys in WWE that haven't been getting over.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's instantly over. Like,
Well, that's what we were just talking about earlier. It's just like it really has nothing to do with I don't like to hear that, people are giving Eddie Kingston problems. I mean, the guy can work. Who cares? And Keith Lee's the same thing. I mean, yeah, he's a big, strong dude. Everybody doesn't have to look the same. But yeah, Vince just didn't get it. But Vince, man, yeah, I can't iterate enough. I just went back and it was just like, I think it was an earlier interview and I was listening to him talk to Snuka, and he was literally producing him while he was interviewing him live. Like every one of his questions, you can tell. If we were in a court case, somebody would have said objection, leading the witness, because he was literally leading these guys through these interviews, and there was nobody better than Vince McMahon when he did it. So I don't really know when it changed. Is he a victim of the Mayan clock breaking? After 2012, did that break Vince too? Not just time. The clock and Vince McMahon are now broken because of the Mayan prediction.
Don't know. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that wrestling's gotten a lot nerdier.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's more. You get you get more cosplay. You get more of a Comic Con feel rather than the old Carney Con feel.
So, Keith Lee's here now. Who's Keith Lee in a program with now? Who do we set him up with?
He
How
doesn't.
do you book it?
There's no one really to book him with. That's there. I mean, that's gonna. You're not going to be able to book him with any of being the elite. I mean, as you can see, they booked him. You see, they booked him with Hardy Party because these guys are going to bump everywhere and basically show how strong he is and get him over. But I would have to sit down and look at their roster, but it's pretty slim pickings. I mean, and the good thing about Keith Lee is he does, for a big guy, he can do a lot of the more modern style. So he'll bump for these guys, where Vince would have never, what we just saw happen, where Keith Lee took a bump for him on a plancha like that. Vince wouldn't have let that happen. He would have been brought back into the back and yelled at for doing that. And this is where everybody disagrees with some of Jim Cornette's stuff and agrees with some of his stuff, but this is where the stuff you can already hear it. Cornette's not going to be down. Well, at least they're booking it properly though, because I mean he only took one bump, and I guarantee Cornette's going to say he shouldn't have took that bump. You have to book it smart, the same way you have to book the way you book people with Andre.
Yeah.
Again, he's no Andre. I mean, he's 6'2", but as you can see how easy he is throwing. These guys are all less than 200 pounds, and I think that's going to be exposed. So now you run the risk of just what did that help Hardy's team? Matt Hardy left. He walked out on them.
Oh.
So it helps Keith Lee, and that's what you have to do to get the big guy over. And that's going to work. So when the big guy is over, who do you book him with? Samoa Joe?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe Samoa Joe. How many people? How many 300-pounder? You could do Wardlow. You probably can do Wardlow, but now they're trying to turn him babyface. But why didn't they save that? And now they're trying to. The problem is now that he
just caught him in midair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof.
That's a finish, bro. So the big 300-pounder power bombs you on the.
That's a kill.
Yeah, that is a kill. That's a stretcher. That's a stretcher job. So I can tell you. Yeah, they probably that was overkill. He didn't need to do that. And is he a heel?
I don't think so. I mean, crowd loves him. I don't think he's a heel.
But he just, I mean, he already won, and now he took the other guy and he slammed his back against the apron. So yeah, they're gonna have trouble booking him. Like right out of the gate, I can tell you that was booked almost right. And again, that this is the hot take. That's why women's wrestling in both companies is way better. It's way better.
Yeah, I do find myself way more entertained by the women's
matches. It's just
matches.
because, you know why? Because it just feels like anybody can do anything at any time. There's no big gaps. Mike thinks Lee is going straight into the ladder match from here. Plenty of booking options from there. I guess if you put him in the ladder match and they can again, he does have the advantage of some of the other bigger guys don't have, that he can do this style. that a lot of them can't do. Oh, Lance Archer. There you go. You can put him in something with Lance Archer. He's a big dude. Oh, was that tonight too? A death match?
I don't know. I don't know.
All right, so we got two. Is that all for the surprises? That's two of them.
I don't know.
Jay White and Keith Lee.
Said there was multiple surprises tonight, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, Vince is just letting everybody go and being okay with it. You know, I kind of wanted to see Sammy with the belt. And now that he has the belt, does Sammy need the belts?
Probably not. I don't really feel it's adding much to him right now. You know,
Now that he actually has it on him, you're realizing that it's not really helping him. But has he, like his threat that he did have, like I felt like they got off the right foot when they brought in Keith Lee, when they brought in Jay Lethal. And I was like, okay. But they botched that finish by just making Jay Lethal. Well, you know, you're the new guy. You got to come in. You got to put me over clean. When they brought in Jay Lethal, they should have said, wow, this guy is really a threat. And they maybe should have said, well, it's your first night. We're not giving you a title match. You know, I know this is an open, but we're not doing it. Okay. And then maybe he beats him. And I'm not even a fan of champions losing in non-title matches, but it could work. I mean, that's what really got Kevin Owens is one of the few NXT success stories from the main roster, and everybody needs to thank John Cena for that because John Cena put him over.
Who's that?
Kevin Owens.
Oh, right.
And that's what they needed. You know, so they could have done that with Jay Lethal, and they didn't. Now I don't even know what he's doing. Like, what is Jay Lethal doing?
I think they're putting them together with what's his name, Dante Martin.
Are they?
Because Leo Rush is gone.
You think remember on that investor call WWE, and Vince made that snide comment. It's like, yeah, it appears they're taking a lot of their talent, and then he thought nobody can hear him. He said maybe we should give them more. Do you think he's trying to choke them out with too much talent?
It definitely feels like it, and if you think about it,
I didn't think it was going to work, but it seems to be. It seems to be working.
Seems to be working, and
they got too many. Got too many guys.
The thing is, they're clearing off their payroll, and these guys can come over to AEW and get over. The ones that get over, they can buy them back eventually.
Yeah,
you know, once their contracts are up. You know, I mean, you know they're going to bid on MJF. I'm sure they've contacted him already. He makes it a point to talk about it.
Oh man, that's the smartest. That's the smartest self-booking that anyone's done in a long time. That he's literally lets them know the contract date. He's literally, when that date, the closer we get to that date, do you remember how on fire CM Punk was when everybody knew when his contract was up, and then they even booked it into the angle where, okay, he's fighting John Cena for the title. This is his last night. There's no way he's going to go over, right? Because he's not going to take the belt with him. Do you remember how fire that angle was?
That's the last time I can remember really being surprised by WWE booking.
Yeah. I think, I mean, MJ, I don't know if somebody told him to do that. Oh, no, we do have one more surprise. CM Punk. It's got to be Joe. Top guys.
Who are they? Who does FTR have a match with?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. He's limping like crazy. Did they lose their AAA belts?
Yeah, I think they only had him for a little bit. They went and lost him in AAA somewhere. Pentagon is now Penta Oscuro.
Is that what it said?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to find out who the next surprise is now. Is Punk over in Jersey?
Are they in Jersey right now?
I want to say I thought they said the Jersey Shore.
Oh, so Punk is going to wrestle FTR?
Yeah, he's got a surprise. He's got a mystery partner.
Who's it going to be? Bets? Get your bets in.
Oh yeah, that Samoa Joe. That his debut was so good. That was so good. They didn't, it worked. The Samoa Joe and the AJ Styles, like so, those two debuts are, and Kevin Owens, I guess. But yeah, that Samoa Joe on that live show on that NXT Takeover, that was great. So do you think that was a shoot when he tweeted Mox?
Oh, yeah?
That's his Mr. Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, here's your Mox heel turn. There's your Mox heel turn coming.
You think?
Yeah.
On this one, he's going to turn on Punk?
It could happen here. I don't know. Like I said, it's coming. Is Brian going to come out for this? Because everybody's been kind of waiting for Punk and Brian to kind of get in each other's face. Or is this the moment where... Now, it'd be early to do it. But again, I told you earlier, having Brian and Mox almost like an Ambrose type character, and they have kind of book them like outsiders that we're the actual stars of this company, not you guys, and they book them like outsiders. I guess Punk would be the third. Is Punk the third man? Is he the Hulk Hogan and he's going to drop the leg?
I mean, that would be cool.
I mean, that's an angle to...
A faction of Mox, Punk, and Brian?
Yeah. Old WWE guys. And have them in outsiders. Because Punk is the one that introduced the Shield, right? I mean, he's the one that said, but he wanted it to be Moxley, Seth, and Chris Hero.
Chris Hero, yeah.
And then they're like, no, well, we'll give you 2 out of 3 because, Vince, he's just like, I still got to get mine, damn it. I'm hungry. Linda cuts coupons on the weekend. I still got to get mine. Just call the faction. Faction WW. Yeah, it would be hilarious if Tony Khan went and got some, and he got the rights to WWF from the World Wildlife Foundation. It's like, I will literally donate enough money to save the animal of your choosing if you let me license WWF.
Yeah.
Not for the company, just for this team name.
We'll save all the koalas.
I will save every koala you got. It is the first time we saw them together, so. But Mox was gone for the most of the time for the Punk stuff, right? He was kind of doing his New Japan guy, and then he dipped out.
I don't remember if there was any crossover. I mean, Punk was gone early. I don't know what year it was.
No, I'm talking about when he came back.
Oh, when he came back.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
In over the summer. Yeah. No, there was crossover because Punk brought in the Shield because Ryback, I think it was Ryback so he brought in the Shield to protect him. I don't know. I'm still sticking to this. This could be a Mox heel turn right here. I just don't know how much sense it would make, just having the Pinnacle guys in there because he's definitely not a Pinnacle guy. Oh, yeah, Mike made a good point, too. They're both basically, they're both straight edge.
Straight edge crew.
The Straight Edge Society is back. Wait a minute. They have all the straight edge. They have Punk. They have, what's his name? Big Luke. Big dude. The Good Brothers, right? He was in the Straight Edge. And then Serena Deeb.
I think the Good Brothers are gone.
Are they gone?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Did one get canceled?
I think they went to Impact.
Oh, yeah, because they were on loan from Impact, right?
Yeah.
They have their own, that Gimmick super show that they were doing, and there was supposed to be a sequel version to it. Oh, Festus. That's right, I forgot his name was Festus.
Yeah, that's right, Serena Deeb, too.
Yeah. Yeah, because she shaved her head. Props to Serena Deeb, one of the few women wrestlers that says, no, I don't need those extensions. But then remember, then she got the Dolph Ziggler And people will say, because you know why they do the whole baby oil in the hair, right?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, because just like you ever see Seth or Dolph Ziggler when they don't have enough baby oil in their hair, and you see
Yeah.
what the lights do,
Nuh-uh.
and then all of a sudden their head looks like chia.
Oh.
It gives them chia head. So baby oil was a heel to Andre the Giant. You heard the story of, but back then that wasn't baby oil in the hair; it was baby oil on the body. And he almost got into it with Macho Man and told him no baby oil.
All right. So we're like an hour in here. What are you thinking, man? You still recovering from last night?
Yeah, I mean we got our boba stuff. If we have enough to tack together a show there, I didn't have. I mean, we had plans to do some Bloody Valentine stuff, but I don't. I only watched the 2009 version. I didn't go back and watch the 1981 version.
Yeah, I need to revisit the old
Yeah.
one.
Canadian horror, man. Canadian horror there's a lot of 80s Canadian horror. Is that why Chris Jericho's such a horror guy? Because I didn't know that was also Canadian horror.
Yeah, it's
But
a little bit of a low.
But then again, it's just like it was back when Friday the 13th was so successful. So they were like, what other days are holidays that we can turn into horror movies? Like, I got it. Valentine's Day. Okay, let me hear the pitch. Something about love? No, coal miners. It's like, what? It's like coal miners.
Well, it was. I don't think it was part of the whole slasher thing. It was because that movie's kind of like Smart, the original. It's got like it's got a message.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was 81, right? And the first Friday the 13th was 80. I need to rewatch April Fool's Day. Do you remember that horror movie?
Yeah,
That was good.
yeah.
But that was also when it was trying to get a little bit meta of just like, is this real? It was almost like The Game with Michael Douglas. A horror version of that. So, but yeah, we can call it. It's 8:07. It's dinner time.
Yeah, we got a late start on this one,
Yeah,
but
we got a little late start.
we will be
But
back.
we're on. So yeah, we'll catch up. I don't know. We got to call our friends at the Luchador podcast. I know we're behind. Maybe this week or next week or the week after, we'll get them on there. We'll still give them a plug here on Twitter. If you want to follow them, it's the Luchador podcast, and they actually do. It's a story-driven podcast, and it's really good. It's the 1,000 Fights of El Fuego Fuerte, masked wrestlers fighting gangsters and vampires on the streets of Mexico City, a new audio adventure.
I listened to the first episode so far. It's good.
Yeah, it's
Good.
solid, so we like that. So check them out, and we're going to see if we can get them on there. So other than that, yeah, enjoy your evening.
All right, still
Enjoy
got the
your-
hyperspace button from yesterday.
Yeah,
Get
let's
hyperspace out of here.
Let's use it, yeah.
All right,
We
bye.
pay for the goods.
Boom.